So cool. Anyway, so we've got everybody in, I think. So let's come up to stand and come into our nice, perfect Pilates posture to begin with. Who's put a message in there? Oh, you're from Singapore. Wow, well done. Oh, wow. Thank you for joining us, Sabrina, on your first lesson. Okay, brilliant. Good, good. Okay, so anything that doesn't feel right during class, please come out of it. And if you have any questions, you can always put them in the chat and either Kevin or I will try and answer. So come up to stand. If you haven't got a mat, if you've only got a towel, that's fine. Just when we come down, if we come down onto the knees and you need a little bit more padding under your knees, just fold your mat up or fold your towel up, or you can do all the exercises standing, just about. There's always an alternative. So if you are going to do the session standing, please do put a little message in the chat so that we know that you're not coming down onto the mat, and that's perfectly fine. So take a stance to start with, feet hip width apart, draw the toes up, and then release them back down to the ground. And then just take your weight and come forwards and backwards, side to side. And if you have any medical conditions, if you have any back issues or neck issues, I will tell you and give you some alternatives just to be aware. But again, if there's anything that you need to do, put it in the chat. You can put it in the chat just to the panelists. You don't have to tell everybody else on the live session. You can just put it in for the panelists, which is myself and Kevin. So then we're just aware. Good. Come back to the center. Make sure you've got a little bit of weight on the heels and think about drawing your energy again up through the feet, little toe, big toe connection. And just watch that as you're going, these knees and these hips don't roll in. So keep the knees gently pressing in line over the toes. Good. Pulling up, we're going to zip up as if we're pulling a zip into our belly button. Tucked my shirt in today so it doesn't wobble everywhere. Pull it all the way up into the belly button, and belly button a little bit towards the spine. And this is then gonna, I'm just gonna exaggerate, but sometimes, especially as women, we've got this curve in the spine. We've got the bottom sticks out a little, the belly and the front just sticks out a little bit. That's fine. But when we do our Pilates, we're gonna think about trying to neutralize a little bit. So we're gonna zip ourselves up and just squeeze our bottom just a little. So we're not trying to tuck under and bend the knees, but we're just creating a stronger central place and trying to release the tension in this lower back. So thinking about that during class all the time, when you're standing, when you're in your other postures, just thinking about that zipping up and that releasing down when you're working. Good. Circle the shoulders. So start to circle the shoulders. So breathing in, breathing out. And I hope some of you out there are going back to live face-to-face classes, or at least thinking about it, because although this is brilliant, being able to do stuff on Zoom, I know Bruna on the call, hope you don't mind Bruna, but Bruna came to the class last night and it was great to be able to see her and just tweak her a little bit, and for her to ask questions live so that she could ask me, how does this work, am I in the right place, and I can get straight away say yeah that looks great. Circle the shoulders forwards, and you do get more out of it face to face. It's good to have that option to do something at home or to watch a video, but even I need a reminder every now and again that I need to focus a little bit more on one certain area when I'm doing a movement. Go back with the shoulders again and then hold them at the back. So hold them down, strong arms at the side, draw that belly up again, squeeze the bottom. Good. Now just drop the chin forwards, breathing out. And breathing in. And take the chin to one side, breathing out. And coming back to the centre. And down near the centre, breathe out, come back, and opposite side, breathing out. But it's great sometimes not to have all that rushing around, especially for me as an instructor, being able to take a little bit more time for my own fitness And I've done quite a lot of educational work as well, some additional courses. Turn your head to one side, come back to the centre. So I actually did a knee workshop on Sunday, which was really good. Lots of stuff I already knew and a few things I'd forgotten. Come back to the centre. Good. We're going to take a gentle roll down. So circle the shoulders forward, soften the knees, bring the chin in towards the chest, relax the shoulders and just rolling down just towards the knees. So as you come down towards the knees, maybe just take your hands onto your knees and just notice how they feel. And then come all the way back up, circle the shoulders backwards and float the arms. Good. And again, circle forwards. So one thing I learned on the workshop was about, again, being, I suppose, a bit more self-aware of our bodies. So as you come down, so just you're aware of what is normal for you, so that if you do get any swelling or any inflammation in the body or any injuries, you know kind of how your body feels normally or how one side feels against the other. So let's do one more roll down, breathing out. So coming down, just notice how the knees feel, the top of the knees, how the thighs feel as you come back up. Roll the shoulders backwards, float the arms. Good. Let's take a tap out with the foot. So we're just going to tap one foot out and come back and tap the other foot out. That's the only thing with this mat is it's not as slidey as my other mat. So, and I didn't want my socks on today. Come back. That was a thing I learned on the foot workshop, was more often work without socks. Get more feeling through those feet. Good. Take the foot out to the side, just side tap, pull up in the middle, side tap. And again, just a tap to the side. Just notice how the hips feel. Good. And a side tap. And also noticing how your balance is. So we're going to take opposite arm, opposite leg this time. So just come out. So opposite arm, so tap in front, but take the opposite arm out just to shoulder height. And again, pull up with this core as you take the arm and leg out. So you're feeling strong, you're not sinking down. Good. Take it out to the side. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Just notice how this shoulder feels as you take the arm out. Is there any tension around the top of the shoulder and into the neck? Good. Opposite side. Good. Circle the shoulders back. Find the weight down on those feet. And this time we're going to take the arms up and pull the elbows back. So float the arms up, breathe in. And then take the arms back, elbows back, squeeze them back, opening up this chest and come back to the center. And lower down, breathe out. So breathe in, squeeze back, breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. So as you pull back, try and keep this nice strong core. So breathing in, coming up, breathing out, squeezing back. So you're not arching the back to take the shoulders further back. You really want to try and open the chest. One more. Breathing in, breathing out, coming back. Lower down. Good. Let's work with the hips. So we're going to take this hip up. So we're going to draw the knee up towards the chest, take the knee out to the side, gently circling through this hip joint. We're going to do 4 on the same side. Pull this core in again, pull the abs in, bring that nice strength into the center. So you're stabilizing as you move the hip. Good. Opposite side, she says, wobbling. Pulling in. Getting used to my new mat. Good. One more. And coming back to the center. Good. So we're going to roll down. We're going to loosen the shoulders. So we're going to circle the shoulders. Again, if you've got any back issues, just be mindful on this one. Come as far as you want to go. So circle the shoulders forwards. Bring the weight forwards. And then bring your weight onto one thigh. So you're supporting with one thigh. Let this other arm go. Pull the belly in. Just circle the arms. So if you can drop the head, if you don't have any neck issues, that's great. Otherwise, keep the head a little bit up. Just circle one way and the other way. and then roll all the way up. This time we're going to come up onto the toes. So circle the shoulders backwards, draw the belly in, come up onto the toes. Good. Let's do the same side. So circle forwards, relax the shoulders, drop the chin in, coming forwards, drawing in, let that arm go. So this is a really good one if you've got any shoulder issues, if you've got been working on a desk, if you work with a phone, computers, just releases through that shoulder joint, through those fingers, roll the shoulders back, pull up, come onto the toes. Good, let's go other side. So circling forwards, gentle roll down, let go with that arm. Just 3 circles one way, maybe 3 circles the other one, but really let it go. Don't try and hold the shoulder up. Kind of let it go. Imagine it's kind of a piece of spaghetti or an elephant's trunk. Come all the way up. Circle shoulders back, pulling up. Good. Last one. Circle forwards, rolling all the way down. Gently down. Just let that arm go. And the opposite way. Rolling all the way up. Circle shoulders backwards, floating up onto the toes. And release. Good. The next one we're going to do is a little bit of shoulder strengthening. And I want to show you this one because I want to combine it with the knee drop today where we come down onto the mat. So if you're not coming down onto the mat when we do the knee drop, you can do this one standing and I'll show you the alternative. So bring the elbows into the side of the body, right into there, almost squeezing the ribs and draw the belly in. So find that nice sit up, little tuck under with the pelvis, and then we're just going to open one arm out to the side. Now, don't let this elbow sneak away. Feel that that elbow is pushing into that waistband, into the side of the ribs. So just relaxing the shoulder. We're going to do 5 on one side, and then 5 on the opposite side. So keep that elbow in. You can see it's not coming out at all. And it doesn't matter how far you go, you're strengthening into this shoulder. This is a physiotherapy exercise if you've got any shoulder issues. But it's great for strengthening shoulders. Come back to the centre. We're going to do 5 both sides. So squeeze, squeeze. And you can do it with a band as well. You can get a band. We do it in my mobility classes with a band around our hands so that we're just increasing that resistance a little bit. Good, one more. Good, circle the shoulders backwards. So you might find that the shoulders are starting to work with that exercise. Starting to feel a little tired, but that's fine. As long as there's no sharp pain or any shooting pain, we do have to work the body, even if it's feeling a little tense. Good, bring the hands back to the center. So the option this time, when we're coming down onto the floor, we're going to open the knee up. So if you want to do it with the knee here, you can just open the knee up and bring it back. So open the knee up, bring it back. Or you can just do the arms, and then in between you can do a squat. So we'll do the 2 arms together. So we're going to do arm open out, and then we're going to do squat down. Good. Bring the elbows back into the sides of the body, arms in, squat down. So if you want to stand up when we come down to the knee drop on the floor, this is your alternative. So just getting some movement into the hips, strengthening into the arms. We'll do 1 more. Notice how the knees feel when you squat. Make sure the knees are going out over the toes rather than inwards or too far out. Good. Let's roll down onto the mat. So when you come down onto the mat, come onto all 4s. But if you need to see me, just come to a seated position if you want to see me. And if we're doing anything and you're not sure, please come up to seated or come to a position where you can see me rather than turning the head and creaking your neck at the screen. Just make sure that you either sit back onto the heels so that you can see me or come to a seated position. So we're going to come into our cat-cow. Turn the elbows in. For those of you that have done a couple of my workshops now about shoulders, if you're hypermobile and you're getting this this opening here, too much opening here. It does impact in later life on the shoulders. So we're trying to turn the elbows in. And if you know that you've got that hypermobility in the elbows, then you can just softly bend the elbows. This one's my left one's a little bit working on it still, but that is what impacts my shoulder. So bend the knees just a little and then come into this 4-point kneeling position. So you want the bottom and the hips over the knees and the shoulders over the hands rather than too far back. So even though it might feel a little bit more weight on the hips, you want your shoulder directly over your wrist, and then you're going to use this core pull in here to keep the body up so you're not sinking down into the wrists too much. So let me show you this way around. We're going to do our cat. So we're starting with the tailbone rather than the head. So we're going to come into this nice flat back position to begin with. Try and make sure the head is in line. Imagine you've got a nice flat back and you can just balance whatever you like on the back of your back. And then we're going to work from the base of the spine. So pulling in, we're going to round through the body, round the shoulders, head looks through to the knees last. And then starting again at the tail, we release the tail, release the middle of the spine, release the top of the spine, and then lift the head up last. Only lift the head if it's okay. If you have any neck issues, keep the head in that more neutral position. So we're going to work from the base, rounding up, really feel every single vertebrae moving one at a time. Draw the head in and then letting go through the vertebrae. Lifting the head last. So if you are standing, let me know if you're still standing. You can still do that one in a standing position. You can just do the letting go and the arching out. And if you've got any back issues, just be mindful of that arching movement. You might just want to do the rounding movement. And you just might want to come back to neutral. So thinking about pulling in, shoulder blades back and down. So just one more. And if you've got any issues with the wrists, osteoarthritis or anything like that, just do 1 or 2 of these and then you can sit back again, and you can either do it seated, just a gentle tilt, or you can do it standing. When you've done the last one, just release down if you can, bottom towards the heels. That's too strong a stretch. Just come back to your neutral. And then we're going to come over onto the back for our leg slides and leg drops. So let me show you the leg slide to start with. And again, if you don't want to come down onto the back, if it's not comfortable, you can come, but you are comfortable seated, you can come into the seated position, or you can do this one even sitting on a chair. So our leg slide, I'll do it seated to show you, and the knee drop. So we're just going to slide one leg out really slowly along the floor. Keep that knee a little bit bent. Try not to hyperextend it. So as it comes out, you want a gentle little bend in it. You're not pushing it all the way down to the ground. And then sliding it back. So we put on our backs, sliding the leg out long, all the way out. And then sliding it slowly back in, keeping the heel on the floor, really slowly and mindfully. So let's do 6 on each side. So hands can come onto the bony bits of your hips. Place the feet down. So hands on the bony bits of the hips, feet down, and you're just going to pull in with that belly, pull in with the core, zip up as you take the leg out. So you're keeping everything strong. And then breathing in, drawing all the way back. So we're going to do 6 on each side today. Really want to try and lengthen and stabilize through the back and through the pelvis. So try and keep this opposite leg really still. No, not even any micro wobbles. Keep it strong. And if it starts to wobble, think about just zipping up and pulling up a little bit more into that belly. You can release in the middle, so take a nice deep breath into the ribs. And then when you're ready to breathe out, zip up again. just slide out. And if your heel is getting stuck, you can just lift it a little bit off the ground, but I want you to really focus on this hip mobility today. So sliding it back in. And then breathing out, opposite side. And then coming all the way back. Good. When you've done your 6 on each side, we're just going to draw the right leg into the chest. So we're just going to draw the right leg in and take a hook. So right leg in, hold behind the thigh, relax the shoulders down on the ground, and just take a right knee hug. Just trying to release any tension in the back, any tension in the belly. And then release down and change sides. So drawing that left leg in. Gentle stretch down the back of the hip maybe. Depends how tight you are. You might not feel anything. If you're nice and relaxed and nice and already nice and flexible in that area. And release back down. Francis, good morning. You may have joined us in late, but I think you've been in before. Okay, so we're going to do our leg drop. Let me show you from the side. So if you need to look, come and sit up. Especially Sabrina, I don't know if you've done Pilates before, but obviously, like, yeah, if you need to look, come up and seated. So feet on the ground, feet in the bent knee position. Make sure you're comfortable. You haven't got your feet too close to your bottom, so your knees are getting too much of a stretch. Feet just out, nice and relaxed. Tuck this belly under again, pull up with that zip, just so you're getting a nice strong core. And then as you breathe out, we're just going to let this leg come over to the side. You can roll out on the foot a little, roll out, and then pull the belly in, come all the way back. So we're going to alternate the legs. We're going to do 1 on each side, and we're going to do 6 on each side altogether. When you take that one leg out, make sure this other leg doesn't start to creep and follow it. Keep the little toe connection on the standing foot. And if it starts to wobble, move slower and move more controlled and pull that core in. So breathing out, nice slow move. You can breathe out for a count of 4. Pause at the end. And then pull that belly button in and come all the way back. So really try and relax the shoulders. You can place the hands on the hip bones if you want to just check that that standing hip, that non-moving leg isn't doing anything. Or you can bring the hands down by the side of the body. I sometimes like just to have my hands on my hip bones, so I can just see that standing leg isn't starting to think, oh yeah, I can move. Let me let that other leg go a little bit further and I'll go with it. Just pulling the belly in to come back. Making sure when you come back, foot, big toe, little toe connection on the ground. Foot is really stable while it's staying still. Just allowing that hip just to open a little bit more if it feels like it will. So we're releasing any tension as we breathe out. Just try and make sure the bottom relaxes. We're not squeezing the bottom on this one. Pulling in at the belly, but we're trying not to squeeze the muscles of the bottom. We're trying to relax that hip. Relax all around that lower back. Good. When you've done 6, we're going to come back to the leg sweep. This time we're going to take opposite arm. So draw the belly in and we're going to slide opposite arm, opposite leg. Opposite arm goes thumb up all the way over the head. If it will, just take it to where it wants to go. Keep the shoulder blades pressing down to the ground and then come all the way back. So really slowly and mindfully again, take that leg, slide it out, pull in with the belly. Opposite arm goes over, so you're reaching to the back of your room rather than down to the floor. If the hand gets to the floor, great, but we're not trying to touch the fingertips on the floor and bend the arm. So just taking the leg all the way out. So breathing out, take the leg out, take the arm to where it wants to go. If it doesn't want to go to the floor, that's okay. And then coming all the way back. Again, we don't want to arch this back to get that hand down to the ground. So pull the belly in, keep our neutral spine. So neutral spine is not flat on the floor necessarily, but it's your neutral place where you are when you zip up and pull that belly in and you feel strong. So you're not arching the back any more than it should be doing, just to get a better movement in your own mind. Good. When we've done the 6 on each side, we're just going to, again, we're going to take that leg stretch in, draw the one knee into the chest. This time, draw the opposite leg in. So both knees come into the chest. And then we're going to place the hands on the knees and just circle the knees clockwise. So just circle the knees around one way and then circling them the opposite way. Good. Then bring the feet back down onto the ground. We're going to do this opposite arm, opposite leg, like I said, with weighted arms. Bring the arms into the side of the body so the fingertips are facing the ceiling. Those elbows are in with the ribs again. Find that neutral spine, so zipping up. So this time we're going to work, actually we'll work same side to begin with. So pushing down on the right foot, keeping the right arm still. Take the left arm and the left foot out to the side. So left arm drops, keeping that elbow in, and left knee drops. So they probably come to about the same place, about 45. Come all the way back in, draw the belly in, and then opposite side. So taking the arm out, knee out, coming all the way back. Let me show this way on. So you're taking the arm and leg out, breathing out, and then coming all the way back, pulling in, and then same opposite side. So if you need to have a look, come up to seated. Otherwise, we're just going to do 2 more each side. Come back. Make sure when you come back, we talked about this little toe, big toe connection. Make sure each time you come back, you're back to neutral, you're back to a nice stable position. So when you come back, make sure that that big toe, little toe is connected. That knee isn't just still drifting out to the side. It comes back to its facing the ceiling point. And again, just working really slowly so the opposite leg does not move when you're moving the one leg. Good. This time we're going to try opposite arm, opposite leg. So this time the left leg drops out and the right arm drops out. This is going to challenge your brain as much as it will challenge your body. So bring it back to the center. Keep those elbows into the side of the body. And then left arm, right leg. So again, we're going to do 4 on each side. Move really slowly and mindfully. So you're moving for a count of 4, pulling the belly in to bring the leg back, and pulling the belly in to control the movement out. So you're not allowing everything just to drop. So it's not a knee drop, just letting the leg swing. Have to control it from here. So pulling in here, taking it out. It's for hip stability. And if you're working with mindfully with that core, you will get a core workout, even if we're not focusing on the core. This is where sometimes if you go to Pilates and you think, core, we didn't do much core today. Like actually, if you're doing all the rest of the movements properly and effectively throughout the class, you should start to feel that core strengthening and that strengthening around the midsection into the belly and the back. So that would be my main tip if you're going to go to if you're going to go back to face-to-face Pilates classes, or if you feel like going to Pilates but you think, is it going to work my core? The answer is yes. It will work your core if you work your core. Come back into the center. I'm only the instructor. I can't make you pull your belly in all the time. I can't make you move slowly and mindfully. You have to do that for yourself sometimes. Good. Let's come over onto the side and come up seated. So well done everybody for that one. So come back up to seated and bring the feet out in front. Oh, it's gone a little bit, I've gone a little bit chilly. So bring the feet out in front and we're going to do our roll down. So this one is for more for directly for the core, but we're also going to add the twisting, good for the spine and good for the around the abdominals, around the outer edge, and also good for the digestion. So coming up to seated again, you can do this one seated on a chair if you want to, don't have to do it on the floor. And if you're on the floor and it's not comfortable underneath your bottom, I can't find, I think I took my block to the class, but you can do it with a block, or you can have a green ball behind you, a Pilates ball behind you, so you've got a little bit more stability. So sitting up straight to start with, relax the shoulders. So relaxing the shoulders down, feet on the ground. Remember this core connection, little toe, big toe. Drawing up, shoulders relaxed. So take a deep breath in, pull up as if you're pulled by a piece of string. And then as you breathe out, just releasing down. So keep these toes and these knees where they are. Don't let them wobble in and out. See how low you can go, breathing out comfortably. And then coming all the way back up. Do you see my little toe, my big toe float up there? This is my one I've got my little bunion on. I have to really focus on keeping that one down. Good, let's go again. So breathing all the way down, breathing out, coming all the way down to where you want to go. And then coming all the way back up. Sitting tall. Good, and again, so breathing out. You can breathe out through the mouth or out through the nose. And then come all the way back up. Good. So you're trying to round down through the spine. So remembering we did that cat-cow, it's the same kind of movement. You're not leaning backwards and coming back. You're pulling up tall and then you're sinking down through the spine, rounding down. So rounding down through the lower back, upper back, and then coming all the way up. Back up to seated, push those shoulder blades back. Good. So we're going to open out now. We're going to do a twist. So we're going to open out at the bottom. Brain gym this morning. Open out at the bottom, twist at the top. So coming down. So we're going to come down, rolling down. When we get to where we want to be, we're going to open out this arm to the side. You can look to the side and a gentle little twist. So you're twisting from the belly, looking towards that side, but try not to dip the shoulders too much. Try and keep the shoulders fairly even. Open the arm out. Come all the way back up to the center. Cross the arms. We're going to twist to the opposite side. So twist opposite side. Coming back to the center. Challenging the brain. First thing I know. I'm sorry, guys. Come all the way back down. Take that breath out with the other side. I'm challenged by my sofa this side. Take your arm to as far as it wants to go. Come all the way back up. Cross the arms. Gentle side twist. Come back to the center. So let's go again. Let me toe this way. So we're coming down with our roll down. Taking the arm out, looking to the side. Gentle twist through the transverse abdominals, coming back to the center, come all the way up, sit tall, hands cross, gentle twist to the side. Good, let's go again. So breathing out, make sure the shoulders are relaxed. Breathe out, floating down, open the arm up, forgot that one. Coming all the way back up, sitting up. Cross the arms, relax the shoulders, gentle twist. Good. Let's see if we can do 2 more on each side. If you're feeling a little challenged, you're starting to feel that core working, you can come forward and just have a little rest. Take a couple of breaths and then see if you can add the last 2 in. So breathing in, breathing out. You can come a little lower, so you can come all the way down, take that breath out, take a breath in at the bottom to challenge the core, keep that pelvic tilted, and then open up on the second breath if you want to. Breathing out, breathing in, and then coming all the way up. So you can make it harder for that core if you want, just by holding it at the bottom of the move, and taking the second breath here. So breathing out, hold it here. Make sure you're strong in the core, you're not arching the back. Take the arm out, come all the way back, lifting up, gentle twist. Good. When you've done the last one, bring the feet out wide, come over the legs, just releasing out. Good. Then come over onto the belly, onto the stomach. We're going to come and do a static strengthener for the back and for the shoulders. So we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So come down onto the belly, but come onto the elbows. So elbows down, hands spread, and just feet behind nice and long. And then you're going to think about drawing your belly button in. So you're pulling the belly button in off the mat, pulling the belly button up, squeezing the bottom, and then pulling these shoulders back. So think about pulling your shoulder blades back, lifting just the head looking forwards, and just hold and breathe. So just hold and breathe here. So strengthening through the shoulders, strengthening through the back. So you're squeezing that back, squeezing the shoulder blades back, pulling in with the belly, squeezing the bottom. So we're not sinking down into the ground, we're pulling up, sinking back. Good. And then release, bring the hands underneath the head, turn the head gently to one side. So just bring that head gently to one side. And then come back. So come back into that Sphinx. Let me know in the chat if this one isn't working for you, if it's too strong, or if you're feeling any pressure in the back. Otherwise, come back into it again, hold and breathe, squeezing up, and this time we're going to look over the shoulders. So take a deep breath in, pull that belly button in, squeeze the back, gently look over one shoulder. So breathing out, look over one shoulder, come back to the center, and breathing out, look over the opposite shoulder. So strengthening in the back, squeezing those glute muscles, come back to the center. We'll do one more if it feels good. If it's too strong anywhere, come down onto the hands, turn the head to one side, come back to the center. And notice how it feels left and right side. Does the neck feel restricted in any way? If it does, it's probably radiating from the shoulders. So come all the way down. So if you've got any neck stiffness, focus on the shoulder mobility that we did at the beginning of class. Just the shoulder rolls and maybe the head turns. So that should help to loosen up, especially sometimes if you've slept funny, you just feel a little bit tight in the neck. Good. So come back to the center. We're going to do that one more time. This time, if it's feeling good, we're going to lift the leg into a leg curl. So elbows in. Again, we're going to look over the shoulder, but we're going to lift the leg in. So we're going to try and bring the toe towards the bottom. Don't let these hips pop up. Keep the hips pushing down, squeeze the bottom, draw that foot in. You can pull the toes down to getting more of a stretch through the quad, and then slowly lower it down. Lower it down for a count of 4. Make it go as long behind you as it can, and release, and then change opposite side. So into that Sphinx first, shoulders back, head looking forwards, draw that foot up so the foot comes up, keep squeezing down, draw the toes back down towards the floor if you want to, the ankle is flexed, and then slowly relax the foot, lower it all the way down. Good. We're going to do 3 on each side. Let me show you this way around. So squeezing up, draw that foot up. You can look over the shoulder towards it, pull the toes down, keep squeezing down with that bottom, and then relax the foot and slowly lower down. Good. One more. We're lifting up, squeeze in, looking down to that shoulder. So bottom doesn't pop up. If you're watching me on here, that whole body doesn't move. Bottom doesn't move, back doesn't move, back is squeezing, belly button is pulling up. And then as you come all the way back down, everything stays still. So it is with Pilates, it's about moving mindfully and controlled. When you've done the last one, bring the hands down. Just give the hips a little wiggle side to side. Just release any tension. And then pop your hands underneath your shoulder blades. Come back up to seated. So push up, take a stretch if you want to in your child's pose. Releasing any tension in the back. And then come back up to seated. And we'll do the knee drop here just to release through that back a little. So just releasing one side, bring the knees to the center, release them to the opposite side, back to the center. One more time. Good, opposite side. Good, let's finish off. We're coming to cross legs. If it's not comfortable cross legs, bring the legs out in front or come back up onto a chair. So coming to cross leg to finish off. Sitting up nice and tall, relax the hands by the side of the body. We're going to take a side stretch. So breathing in, bring the arm up to the ceiling, and breathing out, come across into a side stretch. Just stretching through the side of the waist. Good. As you come back, leave that hand behind the head and just open up through the elbow. Oh, that's tight today. Lots of dog walking for me this week. Probably that. Good. Lifting up through the elbow and carrying my kit bag again. I haven't missed doing that, I must admit. Staying at home, having my kit at home, haven't missed carrying my kit bag around. Good. Take that arm back. Gentle circles with that shoulder, see how it feels. And then take it back down to the side. Let's try the other side. Lifting up, breathing in, breathing out. So yeah, if you start to, as you're going out and about, starting to get more aches and pains in your arms, especially in your shoulders, just be mindful. Have you gone back to carrying the kitchen sink out with you every time you go out? Because we've had a year of not doing, and or perhaps not a year of not doing, but a year of not taking quite so much out with us, and it might just, our bodies might not be quite used to it. Good. Hold and breathe, and then just circle that shoulder. Good. And then drop the chin down to the center. Come back to the center. Turn it to one side. So just notice, we did this at the beginning of class. Just notice if and with that Sphinx, just notice if the head feels a little bit looser now, the neck feels looser, the shoulders feel more relaxed. Good. Come back to the center. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed the class today. Please put any comments in the chat, and I will put, if anybody's interested in any other